And of course, let's just go across to my colleague Vasudha joining us from outside the parliament. Vasudha, take us through the ruckus that's led to the adjournment as far as the Rajya Sabha is concerned.
Expected occurrences there, Divya, is, especially with regard to Rajya Sabha in the upper house of the parliament. Jagdeep Dhankhar, the vice president, also chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, who is at the center of the storm, with the India bloc allies alleging that he has been partisan towards them in the last 3 years of his functioning, and he has not given them time or space to raise their issues. He's been schooling them like a headmaster. Several allegations were raised by the India bloc allies yesterday in a joint press conference, a rare show of unity in which TMC, DMK, Congress, JMM, Samajwadi Party, the left party, several parties came together and they spoke against the vice president yesterday. But of course, today what happened was he started the session and he said that he will be responding to allegations at an appropriate time. He also said that farmers have to face the wrath of not just their own but also of God. And then JP Nadda, who is the health minister and also leader of the house from the BJP side, he said some very strong words. He blamed the Congress party for undermining the institutions of the country, saying that the whole act of condemning the vice president publicly was an act of betrayal of the democratic ideals that the country stood for. He said that the people of the country will not forgive the Congress party and its allies for doing so. And he also said that he in fact cited an old incident in which, if you remember, Rahul Gandhi was also seen, video recording Kalyan Banerjee in an act of imitating the vice president. JP Nadda spoke about that. He spoke about how social media accounts have also been, posting content that are against the vice president. And he said that all of this was reflective of the Congress's rejection and disrespect towards Indian democracy. And that is the BJP coming out very strongly in defense of the vice president, Jagdeep Dhankhar, the Rajya Sabha chairperson. The Rajya Sabha chairperson also faces, remember that the India bloc allies have already submitted no confidence resolution against Mr. Dhankhar. But of course, that needs to be accepted for it to be actually moved. Remember that there are rules with regard to that. A 14-day prior notice has to be given, which is not possible given that just 8 days are left for the session to end. And of course, the India bloc allies do not have numbers. They just have 85 MPs, while the magic number, a comfortable majority, is 116 in the upper house. And the BJP will also be holding a press conference today in a short while from now, in a few minutes from now. JP Nadda or Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju, who yesterday also came out very strongly in defense of Jagdeep Dhankhar, calling him a knowledgeable person, a farmer's son. He will be speaking, and we'll have to wait and see how the BJP sort of re-strategizes and very aggressively takes on the Congress party and its allies for their attack on the vice president and the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha. With regard to the agenda of the parliament, important bills have been listed. We saw some significant legislative agenda being taken up in the Lok Sabha yesterday. The railway amendment bill getting cleared by the lower house. The discussion on the disaster management bill also happening yesterday. All of that is also going to take place today in case if the protests subside and if the houses are allowed to function. Other than that, there is also demands for grants by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, and there's also an important bill coming up with regard to the STs in ST community in Goa. We'll have to wait and see how much of that legislative agenda gets taken up. Rahul Gandhi is not in house today. He's in Sambal meeting the victims. Remember, yesterday he met with the Speaker, Om Birla, yesterday, and he suggested full cooperation from the Congress's side, saying that he will want to ensure that the party runs despite any provocation from the BJP. But the BJP has also been doubling down on attacks against the Congress party with regard to the George Soros matter, alleging that the party leaders are hand in glove with entities that are funded by George Soros that are involved in destabilizing the country's economy and also its democracy. We are waiting for JP Nadda's and Kiran Rijiju's press conference to start any time from now. But let's also look at some reactions that have come in since morning on the working of the parliament.
With regard to the admissibility and for other purposes, Chairman's ruling cannot be questioned or criticized. To do so, Sabhapati ji, to do so is contempt of the House and the Chairman. ये बड़े स्पष्ट शब्दों में कहा गया है। मुझे दुख के साथ कहना पड़ता है कि कल लीडर ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन श्री खड़गे जी, उन्होंने करके चेयर को क्रिटिसाइज किया।
लीडर ऑफ द हाउस उन्होंने ये कहा कि जो चेयरमैन साहब बात करते हैं तो उनके ऑर्डर के खिलाफ उनके जो निर्णय रहते हैं उसके विरुद्ध कोई बात नहीं करना चाहिए। ये कंटेम्प्ट होता है, उन्होंने कहा। सर, मैं एक बात बताना चाहता हूँ, ये लोग अपने विषय को भटकाना चाहते हैं।
Well, in the background, you can see Union Minister Giraj Singh holding the posters of Sonia Gandhi and George Soros. The Bharatiya Janata Party had been asking the questions of the allegations of having links between George Soros and Sonia Gandhi, and now Union Minister Giraj Singh clearly questioning. Let's listen.
ये देश जानना चाहती है, सदन जानना चाहती है, हम लोग जानना चाहते हैं कि सोनिया गांधी जवाब दें कि जॉर्ज सोरोस से क्या संबंध है। वो जॉर्ज सोरोस जो भारत को तबाह और बर्बाद करने के लिए $बिलियन खर्च कर रहा है, इसका जवाब दे। बातों को भटकाए नहीं, बातों को अटकाए नहीं, सदन में जवाब दे। सदन में जवाब।
सदन में भी आप इस पे आज सवाल
सदन में तो सवाल उठ ही चुका, सदन में सवाल उठ चुका है बहुत।
So there you can see Union Minister Giraj Singh holding the posters of India flag, and then it is Sonia Gandhi and George Soros. Bharatiya Janata Party had been constantly asking questions from the Congress Party over the links between George Soros and Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, and they need to answer on the floor of the House is something that the Union Minister Giraj Singh had been stating. This is Aishwarya Jain for NDTV in Delhi. Well, joining with me is Congress MP Karthi Chidambaram. Sir, yesterday the Trinamool Congress stated that it is because of the two major national political parties, BJP and Congress, the House is unable to function. And it is the regional parties who are the real sufferer. They are not allowed to raise the matters concerning to their states. How do you see such comments?
No, as far as the Congress party is concerned, we want the House to function, and the House did function yesterday. We do not want any disruptions. Our leader of the opposition had spoken to the Speaker, and we will ensure that the House is functioning smoothly, but that's our intention.
Do you think that the entire ruckus that had been seen both in the upper house and the lower house since the beginning of the winter session of parliament and the issues that had been raised by the BJP and Congress will also impact on the upcoming constitutional debate?
I mean, the constitutional debate will have an impact on many, on whatever is happening. I'm sure the designated speakers and all from our side will highlight the fact that Parliament is only becoming a stamping house and is not being a true house of the people where issues are raised. We will bring that up.
But Sir, Trinamool Congress, one of your allies, is raising such concerns over the Congress party.
I mean, as I said again, the Congress party wants the House to function, and the House will function. And we want the floor of the House to be used to raise people's issues.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That was Congress MP Karthi Chidambaram speaking to NDTV.
Well, Aarti Jairath, political analyst and author, joins us. Also, Rashid Kidwai, author and political journalist, joins us. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us on this broadcast. Aarti, to you first. It was earlier protest versus protest. Now it's become press conference versus press conference.
राज्य सभा में मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी, जो कांग्रेस पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेता हैं और अध्यक्ष हैं, उन्होंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके चेयरमैन के ऊपर आक्षेप लगाए थे। सबसे पहली बात तो मैं ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि खड़गे जी जो इतने सीनियर लीडर हैं, उनको इतनी इल्म होना चाहिए, इतनी जानकारी होनी चाहिए कि द रूलिंग ऑफ द चेयरमैन इज़ फाइनल एंड द रूलिंग ऑफ द चेयरमैन इज़ अनक्वेश्चनेबल। और वह भी हाउस के अंदर नहीं, हाउस के बाहर इस तरीके का आरोप लगाना यह बहुत ही निंदा योग्य है। ये इसकी जितनी निंदा की जाए वो कम है। इसकी भर्त्सना करनी चाहिए। और हम इसकी भर्त्सना करते हैं, कंडेम करते हैं, और ये बहुत ही जिसे कहा जाए कि दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। एक बात और मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि खरगे जी को भरपूर मौका दिया गया है। उन्हें अपनी बात को रखने का मौका हाउस के अंदर भी दिया गया, और उन्होंने ऑन रिकॉर्ड है कि कहा कि नो, आई विल नॉट स्पीक। बाद में उनको चेंबर के अंदर निमंत्रित किया गया, एक बार नहीं अनेकों बार किया गया। वह चेंबर में आने से उन्होंने रिफ्यूज़ कर दिया। उन्होंने कहा नो, आई विल नॉट गो टू द चेंबर। इसलिए ये स्पष्ट हो जाता है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी का उद्देश्य हाउस को में कोऑपरेट न करने का है। ये स्पष्ट हो जाता है कि उनको प्रजातांत्रिक व्यवस्था और संसदीय प्रणाली पे विश्वास नहीं है, और वह अराजकता लाने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं। एक तरीके से वहाँ पर वो इस तरीके की स्थिति खड़ा करना चाहते हैं ताकि संसदीय व्यवस्था में कार्य करने मुश्किल हो जाए। और इसलिए मैं इस बात की भी कंडेम करता हूँ, वो बीएसी के मीटिंग में नहीं आए। वो जब चेंबर के अंदर मीटिंग हुई है उसमें उन्होंने पार्टिसिपेट नहीं किया है। तो ये स्पष्ट बताता है कि उनका कोऑपरेशन, कांग्रेस पार्टी का कोऑपरेशन कदापि नहीं है, और उनके मुंह से संसदीय प्रणालियों की चर्चा करना ये हास्यास्पद है। ये मैं अगर आपको बताना चाहूँ तो आपके ध्यान में आया होगा कि वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक संवैधानिक पोजीशन है। वह चेयरमैन ऑफ द हाउस, राज्यसभा भी होते हैं। उनकी मिमिक्री संसद के परिसर में हो, और कांग्रेस का वरिष्ठतम नेता जो लीडर ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन इन लोकसभा है, राहुल गांधी, वो उसकी वीडियोग्राफी बनाए और उसको फिर से उकसाए कि हाँ फिर से कीजिए, फिर से कीजिए। मुझे तो ऐसा लगा जैसे मुझे कॉलेज के दिन याद आए, जो कॉलेज में यूनिवर्सिटी के बाहर विपक्ष और कॉलेज के लड़के जैसे करते हैं, उस तरीके की हरकत वो संसद के परिसर में संसद की गरिमा को ठेस पहुंचाते हुए करते हैं। और कांग्रेस पार्टी और उनकी वरिष्ठतम नेता सोनिया गांधी जी एक शब्द नहीं बोलती हैं। ये परंपराओं को ताक में रखने वाले लोग और परंपराओं को नीचे गिराने वाले लोग, एक नहीं अनेकों उदाहरण हैं जो इस बात को बताते हैं कि किस तरीके से इन लोगों ने प्रजातांत्रिक व्यवस्थाओं को चोट पहुंचाई है। ये सस्पेंड हुए हैं पार्लियामेंट के अंदर, कुर्सी पर चढ़ने का काम इन्होंने किया है, टेबल पर चढ़ने का काम इन्होंने किया है, पेपर फेंकने का काम इन्होंने किया है, पेपर संसदीय व्यवस्थाओं के कागजातों को फाड़ने का काम इन्होंने किया है। और ये संसदीय प्रणाली के मर्यादाओं के बारे में चर्चा करने या करते हैं, ये हास्यास्पद है। मैं यहाँ ये भी कहना चाहता हूँ कि कांग्रेस पार्टी मुद्दे को भटकाना चाहती है। दे वॉन्ट टू डिविएट एंड डाइवर्ट द इशू। द इशू इज़ वेरी क्लियर दैट द कंट्रीमैन आर वेरी मच डिस्टर्ब्ड जब उनको ये पता चलता है कि एक सज्जन, एक व्यक्ति जॉर्ज सोरस नाम का, वो देश की स्टेबिलिटी को डिस्टर्ब करना चाहता है, वह देश को मुसीबत में डालना चाहता है, वह भारत की संप्रभुता को पर प्रश्न खड़े कर रहा है। और सोनिया गांधी जी जो फोरम ऑफ द लीडर्स ऑफ द एशिया पैसिफिक की को चेयरपर्सन है, जो फंडेड है जॉर्ज सोरस से, उनका क्या संबंध है ये देश जानना चाह रहा है। आज ये जो जॉर्ज सोरस बड़े स्पष्ट शब्दों में कहता है कि मैं वर्तमान व्यवस्था को डिस्टर्ब करूंगा, जो कहता है कि मैं मोदी जी की गवर्नमेंट को पदच्युत करने के लिए, डिस्टेबलाइज करने के लिए मैं फंडिंग करूंगा, उनके साथ सोनिया गांधी जी का क्या संबंध है ये देश जानना चाहता है। इस मुद्दे को भटकाने के लिए इस तरीके का प्रयास कांग्रेस पार्टी कर रही है। हम इसका पुरजोर भर्त्सना करते हैं, निंदा करते हैं, और इस तरीके की व्यवस्था को हम जनता के बीच में भी ले जाएंगे और उनको बताएंगे कि किस तरीके से कांग्रेस पार्टी का गैर जिम्मेदाराना रवैया रहा है।
So what is the way forward? So what is the way forward?
Way forward, everybody will have to think accordingly. What I am saying, that has to be addressed and taken care. And it depends upon the जिसे बुद्धिमत्ता कहेंगे, वो वो कांग्रेस पार्टी की बुद्धिमत्ता पर निर्भर करता है।
सदन के दोनों सदनों में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर महत्वपूर्ण चर्चा होनी है।
हाँ, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हम तो चाहते हैं, होगी, करेंगे चर्चा।
क्या सरकार निंदा प्रस्ताव लाने के लिए चर्चा कर रही है? क्या गवर्नमेंट इज मलिंग?
देखिए, हमने भर्त्सना की है, हमने निंदा की है और सब लोगों ने ताल ठोक करके यानी समर्थन किया है उसका, तो समर्थन ही है।
इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट शेखर यादव के
धन्यवाद।
सर, अविश्वास प्रस्ताव पर
So Lok Sabha also, the lower house of the parliament is witnessing some ruckus. Let's get a picture of what's happening there.
कांग्रेस पार्टी के 300 लोगों को उसने जो है स्टार्टअप के नाम पर पैसा दिया है। ये 300 लोग कौन हैं और गांधी परिवार के साथ क्या संबंध है? मेरा चौथा पांचवा प्रश्न है सर कि भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में सलील शेट्टी गया था। भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में कांग्रेस ने कितना पैसा खर्चा किया और सोरोस फाउंडेशन ने
की कार्रवाई 1 बजे के लिए स्थगित दी जाती है।
Well, joining me now is Aarti Jairat, political analyst and author. We also have Rashid Kidwai, who is also a senior journalist and author. Thank you both of you for joining me on this show. Rashid Kidwai, to you first. Sir, it used to be earlier protest versus protest. Now it's becoming press conference versus press conference. Yesterday, in a unique show of unity, all the India bloc allies came together to take on the vice president. But the BJP has also come out very strongly in his defense, and all of this happening in the parliament. How do you see this? Do you see a more aggressive positioning by the BJP when it comes to parliamentary agenda? And is that also been in some way of its successes in the last few months vis-a-vis what happened in 2024 Lok Sabha elections?
Yes, I think the opposition and the government have come to reach to a point of no return. I don't see any kind of compromise being hammered out, and it also has to do a lot with that the conduct of the presiding officer. Aarti Jairat is here, and we have seen many vice presidents. Vasudha, there have been 14 vice presidents, and from Radhakrishnan up to Venkaiah Naidu or Hamid Ansari. See, the vice presidents would conduct themselves in a more, I would say, in a more neutral instance. They would not even, some of them before, Venkaiah Naidu era or Hamid Ansari era, they would not even sit during, so to say that zero. They'll just come on question hour and then they'll go away. So there was political issues or political debates or heated exchanges were not conducted in their presence. Remember, the chairman of Rajya Sabha, chairperson of Rajya Sabha is also, vice president. So it would be wise on the part of Mr. Dhankhar to focus more on his vice presidential duties rather than focus so much on, it is not that what he's doing is right or wrong, but the fact of the matter is he's dragged himself in a lot of, political, slugfest, which was unnecessary, uncalled for. So the opposition has reasons to whether bringing no confidence is justified or not, but, there have been grave provocations by the chair as well.
Right. Aarti Jairat, I was at the press conference of the India Allies yesterday, and they made a lot of allegations, including that they get schooled, like they are children. There's no respect for veteran MPs, for the kind of body of work that they had to put out before they actually reached the parliament. And while many of that seemed, quite okay to make in a platform, today JP Nadda saying that, Mallikarjun Kharge has not been okay, coming to the chambers whenever he has been called. The Congress party has not been taking part in BAC meetings. That's what he has alleged. And also the fact that Mallikarjun Kharge has also gotten enough time to speak. These allegations and counter-allegations, everything is out there for us to see. But the fact is, how do you see this, the balancing act that the Congress, that the BJP has to do to ensure that governance agenda is also in focus, but at the same time, it also has to prove a point politically?
Firstly, I don't think anybody is trying to do a balancing act, neither the government nor the opposition. I think both sides are kind of ready to derail Parliament and let it just go careening off somewhere and forget about the institution. But, I just do want to make one point that, the government has got very assertive and very aggressive and raked up this George Soros charge, because the opposition, there were fissures in the opposition. The cracks began to show. Questions were being raised about Rahul Gandhi's leadership of the India Alliance, and many parties, many leaders of the India bloc were offering Mamata Banerjee as a leader. Now, if the opposition, lets these fissures happen and lets these cracks show, obviously the BJP will get the confidence to try and widen the cracks further and be aggressive and be assertive. The George Soros controversy is an old one. It's nothing new. It's not the first time that the BJP has raised it. It raises it when it suits it, and then it forgets about it when it doesn't suit it. So right now, they need a stick to beat the Gandhis with, because everybody was beating the Gandhis. RJD was beating Rahul Gandhi, Sharad Pawar was beating Rahul Gandhi, Supriya Sule was beating Rahul Gandhi, the TMC was beating Rahul Gandhi. So the BJP just decided a great opportunity, join the chorus and go after Rahul Gandhi, who obviously, they feel is the main challenger, being the head of a national party. Mamata Banerjee cannot be a challenger to Modi or the BJP, because at the end of the day, she is a regional leader. She matters in Bengal, but she does not matter beyond Bengal. The only challenger can be Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party, because the Congress party is a national party. But unfortunately, Rahul Gandhi has allowed the advantage of the Lok Sabha election results. He's frittered away that advantage by, not carrying his allies along with him in this session of parliament and pursuing his own agenda, the anti-Adani agenda, which obviously did not go down well with the other, allies. Now, I think this, motion against Dhankhar, everybody knows that this motion is not going to be admitted, that they have not followed the rules of that 14-day notice period. Even if it was admitted, it could not be passed because they don't have the numbers. So obviously, it is a symbolic gesture. And I think basically the opposition is now this belated recognition that they need to present a united front to paper over those cracks that appeared, in the last couple of weeks. So this is their belated, kind of attempt to present a united front. And we've seen that they've all, united on this. But of course, the TMC voices continue against Rahul Gandhi. And the BJP is, using these opportunities to really, really turn up the heat on the Gandhis and the Congress. So, I think somewhere, right, the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi need to understand, how politics unfurls, what are the kind of advantages that the BJP will take. And it needs to firm up its, the unity of India bloc. Otherwise, we're going to see this thing happen session after session after session.
Right. Also, Rashid Kidwai, when it comes to, these allegations against Jagdeep Dhankhar, like Aarti ma'am is also pointing out, how do you see the BJP's positioning? Because one thing that JP Nadda is bringing about consistently is the fact that Rahul Gandhi was seen videographing another MP, ridiculing him, caricaturing him, imitating him. So there is also an attempt by the BJP to show the Congress as a party that completely has a disregard for people from humble backgrounds, or for that matter, the non-elite, or for that matter, even institutions of the country. Do you think that is an approach that really works even now?
Well, I think, Vasudha, you've raised a very important issue. The BJP understands all these things, the kind of messaging that they do, and they have. That is why I feel for a political strategy, they have dragged the office of vice president. Now it is for the office of vice president to restore some sort of dignity. Why should office of vice president, who's also chairman of Rajya Sabha, become a tool in this kind of, the political, that fight, no holds bar fight, I would say, which is going on between two major blocks, one being NDA led by BJP and other one, the Congress and India alliance partners. So this is a thing, but I don't see, because I see that, the vice president is also at one level is quite a, willing tool. So therefore, it is becoming, it's become very polarized, very personal, very intense. See, the government is supposed to act with far more, responsible manner. It is the opposition that levels, very kind of reckless and sometimes bizarre allegations. Now, if there is somebody, an individual in America is trying to destabilize the country, and we are no longer, soft state, what it used to be during UPA years, etc. So therefore, it is for the government. So anybody who's saying that, you see, there is an American, individual and there is a conspiracy, that person is actually belittling, the efforts of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Home Minister, the External Affairs Minister, and all the, external, security establishment, etc. So therefore, I think these are all very rhetorical kind of, charges, allegations. We don't get the point of, any conduct by any member of opposition indulging in any criminal act. If there was no criminality, then obviously there's no issue. If there was a criminality, then, for 11 years there's been this government in power, then they should have acted upon. So there are a lot of questions, but as I said, Vasudha, see, facts have become a casualty. So it's a fact, fiction, fantasy that is in play by both by opposition and by the, elements in the, ruling party. So therefore, it's a theater of the absurd, and it's going on.
Right. Aarti Jairat, yesterday I was looking at some of the debates that happened, disaster management bill and also railway amendment bill, and there seems to be a certain sense of lack of preparation even when these bills are concerned, even amongst the opposition MPs, because most of them seem to be saying this one thing, that, all of them are centralized, they give a lot more autonomy to the centralized institutions, they are a threat to federalism. And I won't blame the MPs, because there is a certain sense of uncertainty about the working of the parliament. What kind of impact does this kind of uncertainty on the working of the parliament have on the MPs' own expectations from themselves on how they should view their work, on their responsibilities? Because it looks like this also paves the way for lack of preparation when it comes to either criticizing or supporting a governance agenda.
Yes, Vasudha, this is the tragedy that, I think our MPs no longer take Parliament as seriously as MPs of an earlier generation did. MPs of an earlier generation were very, very serious about debates and discussions. And even when they, wanted to make a point or criticize the government, they did not sort of stop the functioning of Parliament. They made their points on the floor of the House. Maybe there was some screaming and shouting and sloganeering, but this kind of disruption was not there. This sort of disruptions that we're seeing now, to my mind, really, sort of started in the 80s. When Rajiv Gandhi had this sort of what we used to call the Congress shouting brigade, because they used to shout in Parliament and try to shout down the other side and stop them from speaking, simply because the Congress at that time had the numbers and they could do it. And then, of course, we saw that very unseemly thing in 1995, I think, the winter session of 1995, when the BJP at that time, the telecom minister, Sukhram, there were very grave allegations of corruption against him because, the CBI had recovered huge amounts of money from his house. And the BJP held up an entire winter session of Parliament. Not one day did Parliament function through that winter session. So, both sides are really guilty in this, of disrespecting Parliament and reducing this institution. And I think certainly for first-time MPs, it's a very sad thing. They all aspire to come to what we call the temple of democracy, because they want to bring their issues, their perspectives, and their voices from their, hometowns and villages to Parliament, to the center stage, national center stage. And instead of which they find just noise and disruptions and pandemonium and the House being adjourned. So I think it's very demoralizing and disheartening. And if MPs are not prepared for the debate, well, I mean, they don't know whether the House is going to function or not. So why should they burn the midnight oil trying to gather facts and figures to, prepare, well thought out, argument against something or in favor of something?
Right. Rashid Kidwai, when it comes to tomorrow, it's going to be an important day because it's when the constitution debate is all set to begin. The Prime Minister himself will be responding to it. On Saturday, big guns are being brought out by the BJP. Home Minister Amit Shah will be initiating the debate in the Rajya Sabha. And of course, Rajnath Singh could also be participating in it. And the opposition too, I'm sure, will be making the same kind of preparations. Do you think that this also will be a symbolic reminder to both alliances? Because this has a historical context to it. We are celebrating, in fact, commemorating 75 years of the adoption of Indian Constitution by the Constituent Assembly, and there was a certain intent with which the Parliament was brought into place. Do you have any expectations from the debate that is going to happen tomorrow, and how do you think both the fronts, both the alliances, will be approaching it?
Yes, sir. As a citizen, I would want it to be very kind of in harmony and in a very dignified kind of function, and it should, function. The debate should take place in a very smooth manner. Vasudha, we must remember the bench strength, the quality of some of the opposition members is very good. They are very good. There are many veteran speakers. It's not just Shashi Tharoor and Manish Tiwari and several others. There are many stalwarts are there in TMC and the left parties, etc., who are capable of speaking and talking about issues, bringing a lot of heft to the debate. Whether that will happen or not, we need to wait and watch.
Right. Aarti Jairat, to you, ma'am, what are your expectations from the constitution debate that's all set to begin tomorrow? Because the political undertones of that is also very important. The subtext is very clear. The BJP wants to completely own the constitution narrative, given what happened in 2024 Lok Sabha elections with respect to the narrative around reservation policy. What do you think the BJP's main thinking or approach would be with regard to this debate?
No, Vasudha, you're absolutely right. I think the BJP suffered during the Lok Sabha elections because of the opposition narrative that it wanted to change the constitution, take away reservations for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. So naturally, they would like to erase that, impression once and for all and completely, as you said, own the constitution and actually accuse the Congress of disrespecting the constitution because, the Congress does have a contentious history on this. After all, Indira Gandhi used the clause for invoking president's rule so many times during her tenure. And then she did the worst thing, which was to suspend the constitution and declare emergency. So, the Congress has skeletons in its cupboards too, and I'm sure the BJP is going to rattle them very, very loudly. I just hope, one thing is that the fact that Rahul Gandhi went and met the speaker yesterday and said that he wants the debate to happen, I hope is an indication that the Congress will take this debate seriously and will come well prepared for the onslaught that it can expect from the BJP. But I just hope that we don't see what we saw last year during the no confidence motion when the Prime Minister was replying. And there was, or was it this year? Sorry, this year, I think. Last year. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little mixed up. When the Prime Minister was replying and speaking, and the opposition sloganeered right through that speech, not allowing him to be heard. And that sort of thing, I hope we don't see again, because that was really, really an abuse of Parliament.
Right. Thank you, Aarti Jairat. That's very well said. Thank you, Rashid Kidwai, for joining us on this broadcast. We'll have to wait and see as to what the tone and tenor of the debate is going to be tomorrow. If it really is going to, in some ways, deepen the fault lines between the opposition and the Treasury benches, or is it going to be at least the start of some convergence?